All right, hey guys, welcome back. We're going to do AMA part two because a lot of questions were asked even after the first video. So I'm trying to get some more of them and let's go. So, same format. Here we go. I'm going to read it here. First one is from Husk. How are you doing, man? Also, I know you talk a lot about these stories of the unexplained, but what are some of yours? Well, first of all, I'm doing all right. Thank you, considering the mess with the channel and everything, but we're getting there. And then a story, I was thinking about it the other day. Unexplained paranormal. This is the closest thing I can get for you guys. About a year after my father passed away, I was at his grave, and I don't do this stuff. Oh, if there's a sign, blah 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 blah. But I said to him, like, you know what? Here I am. It's Christmas morning. There was some snow on the ground. I said, if you are here or you can hear me, let me get a sign. There's nobody on the road. It's Christmas morning, so roads are dead, and I'm in like relatively remote area. There's one throughway that kind of passes, and all of a sudden this car drives by. I don't know, and then no joke, believe me if you want, the hood of the car flips back onto the guy's windshield. It pulls over, closes it, drives away. Was it timing that it happened within 45 seconds of me saying that? Sure, but it happened. So there you go. Next. All right, up next, we've got Nikolai Mishkin. Let's do it. You mentioned in one video about strangest military conspiracies or experiences that you had, and a friend who used to be stationed at Diego Garcia, and to let you know if we have any questions or want to hear any stories. So I'm guessing you do want to know. Um, I can't really say too much, but I will say this: like when they were looking for airline flight MH370, did they look there? I know. I'm just a weird conspiracy theorist, right? Right. Next. All right, guys, we got another one coming up here, and this is from You Fill My Life with Jello. That's a great name, by the way. Let's do it. A moment in time when you've laughed the hardest or saw something funny. Your favorite channel, man. I've been with you from the beginning. Thank you. You fill me my life with Jello. Um, Now, I'm just going to go with funniest stuff as a narrator for this one because it would take me forever to think about personal stuff. Like I said, I mentioned in the last AMA, there was a story about a gentleman who was in high school and he had some gas and he released that gas and it was unpleasant to say the least. And the teacher like opened a window. I lost it and our editors left it in. And I still, if we get the channel back, the screen grab is a cringe face of Michael Scott from The Office. Find that video. It's about a year or so old, and you'll hear me lose my stuff over it. Next. Okay, good one right here. Let's do it. This is from The Storyteller. Have you ever thought about making your own channel? What would it be about? Well, I have this one, which is really a hodgepodge. If I was to make a dedicated channel, I don't know if it would work for YouTube. I would probably really lean in more to the type of maybe even adult type, you know, light erotic fiction. Just to be honest, not because I'm into it necessarily, but I think there's a good market for it, and I could do a decent voice for that. Otherwise, I like funny stuff and I love conspiracies. So those are my two favorites, if I'm just being honest. So if I were to do a channel, whether here or not, I did a couple of confession videos, which I also like. I like things that we can identify with. All right, that's me. So I hope that helped a little. That was all over the place. Anyway, thank you for the question. All right, good questions coming up right here. Let's take a look from Kathy. Thank you very much. What is the scariest thing you saw in the military or saddest thing in the military? What is your favorite food? All right. Okay. So, the scariest thing I saw in the military, I'd rather probably not talk about on this channel right here. Now, the saddest thing I saw, there was a young Marine. I was good friends with his sergeant. I was in Bravo Company of 8th Marines. They were in Alpha Company. We were doing a jungle training in Okinawa. We were Camp Schwab, but we were off in the jungle somewhere. And it was raining heavily. They might have should have canceled training, but it was what it was. We were doing a single rope crossing across a body of water. When we went early in the morning, it wasn't that bad. In the afternoon, the water level really rose, and a Marine who unfortunately wasn't the best of swimmers, he seemed to fall off of the rope bridge, and the safety swimmers missed him, and he was swept down with the current, and we found his body hours later. So it was terrible. Young husband, had family. Favorite food. Favorite food, center cut steak, pizza. I do live in New York. Um, good ravioli if it's fresh and handmade. Love that stuff. A really good chicken pot pie. I like food. So, yeah, how about you guys? What's your favorite food? Thank you for the question. See you soon. I love this question. All right, let's do it. This is from HP. If there were a shapeshifter that posed as you, how would your loved ones know which of the two is the real you? It's a great question. All right, let's see. I know everything, really obscure things too, about the 1986 Mets. I know every word to Humpty Dance. And what else? What else could I do that's unique? Oh, I could give you very deep tracks information on the band Weezer. Yes, I love Weezer. There you go. They'd probably figure it out by then. All right, take care. Thank you. Okay, we've got another fun one here. Play on one of the ones we had the other day in the AMA. Let's do it. This is from Peter Hill. On the note of the Ohio joke, why are you not a big fan of Florida? Why is Florida not a big fan of doing anything right or normal? Right? I mean, we've all been there. I love Florida. Okay. I have family who lives in northern Florida. I've traveled there probably more than any other state besides New York that I haven't lived in. And there's a lot of great parts of Florida. But then there's also Florida, part of Florida. You know. Thank you for asking. All right, good one here. Long statement with a question, so bear with me. This is from Donkey Days. Good name. Hi, John. Glad to have found your other channel here. Fingers crossed you get Reddit Aliens back. Me too. I know I'm late to the party for questions, but if you do another video to answer questions, I would love to know what made you decide to go from just a voice to showing your face and then later on also telling us your name. I feel like it was a year and a half in before you actually showed your face in the videos. It was a while before. So what happened was when all the text to speech channels got demonetized, they needed to see some human interaction. And then they demonetized again. And then the channel runners asked me to start doing little videos. That's how it happened. Very simple. So, yeah, my name was always at the bottom when I narrated, even from the very beginning. But when you see my face, I guess it's easier to find. But thank you for the question. All right, got one coming up here that I'm not going to pronounce the name right, so I apologize because it has one of those little accents. I think it's Brazilian. Uh, Joa Richter, Joao, sorry, asked this one. I have an odd question. When and why did you start adding the pause between "Thank you so much for being here"? I've always wondered. I guess it's just like a verbal tick I have. So I did it, and then I became aware of it, and then people started commenting on it, and then I started inflecting upon it more. So thank you so much for asking that. All right. Thanks again. Next question. Similar. All right. Another good one. That's similar to things I do in these videos. Let's take a look. From Lauren for Work. My questions, if you do more. One, do you purposely not blink in a lot of videos, or is that just an uncanny valley trait you have? I do blink a lot. See? I started not blinking in the videos for whatever reason, and then I just made sure I never did. And oftentimes they're short enough, 15, 20 seconds. I just don't blink. So yeah, that's it. Now it's a thing. So now I want to maintain it. And then I'll blink every once in a while. I'll give you guys a little Easter egg, but that's one. Number two, I think I remember you saying before that you're not a paranormal believer yourself. Is that true? If so, why not? If you care to answer. I'm not a non-believer. And when I said my views as far as paranormal or ghost activity would be more agnostic, like I believe that it is certainly possible. I believe that people may have had genuine experiences. I just haven't experienced it myself. So that's all. Not discounting it. Could totally be real. That's just where I'm at. And three, do you have a favorite story you've told here? I do love conspiracy stories. Anytime we talk about the Epstein case, how Casey Anthony's still walking around society, those are sweet spots for me. Other than that, I love the forest stuff. I love the camping stuff. That's near and dear to my heart. That's it. How about you guys? What are your favorites? Next. All right. Sadly, this will be a short answer to a great question. So thank you for asking. But let's see. From Shapeshifter, do you have an unexplained and scary story? Unexplained, I could probably rack my brain for a few. Scary, life stuff. But I touched on this a little bit with my son's birth. But if you're looking for like paranormal and things like that, I just haven't. I haven't even had. I never even dreamt of my dad, and he's been passed away for years. So I'd welcome it. but it hasn't happened yet. Thank you for the question. All right, another one. This may be personal, but not that bad. I thought it was cute. Here we go. Jennifer Lones. What is your birth date, month, date, year, and exact time, if you have it? Sure, why not? I was born on November 2nd, 1977. All right, I was born at 7:03 a.m. But I'm not going to give you my social security number. There you go. All right, fun one again. Let's do it. From Dunkelschwarz. Okay, stupid question. Never. Are you going to make an ASMR video just for fun? I would love that. So, when you talk about ASMR, do you mean like crackling paper and opening packages? This is probably not really my thing. But if you wanted to me to like whisper into the microphone and say, hey, I'm going to grab you by your face and rub it in the pillow. I don't know. I could do that. Sure. So let me know if you guys want an ASMR video. Give me topics, give me ideas. I'll do anything in this purgatory as we wait for RA to come back. Thank you for the question, and I will see you guys in the next question. Here we go. All right, we've got a good one here, and this relates to a story that we had Reddit Aliens like less than 2 weeks ago. So let's do it. From Madame Dex. Hey, John, you mentioned before that in a WTF video that the chef's barehanded hot soup freakout didn't even make the top 10 for crazy things you've seen chefs do. Now, as a fellow former food service professional, I'm curious what the top 10 are. Well, I'm not going to give you a top 10, but classic stuff that you've probably seen as well. People fornicating in the walk in where all the food was during shift. I watched one line cook get in a fight with another line cook in the middle of service, stabbed him in the abdomen, and instead of going to the hospital, he taped it with duct tape and finished the shift, and then got drunk with the same guy after the shift. Didn't go to the hospital. That's pretty wild. Lots of stuff. Obviously, lots of people doing inappropriate things. I've never seen gross stuff with food. I'll be honest with you. Any place I've ever worked, never seen spitting, licking. No place for that. I might have seen someone, maybe 5 second rule, pick something up and put it on the plate. But other than that, that's it. Next. All right, a pretty broad based question. I'm going to try to just give a quick little acute answer too. From Logan Short, I've been listening to your channel every night for the past 2 years. Thank you. Uh, Please keep it up. What's your story? What's my story? Okay, well, I did mention how I became the narrator here for Reddit Aliens, but if you're asking me my general story, I was born on Long Island in the 70s, and, I grew up in a, middle class area, joined the military after high school in an area where not a lot of people joined the military, did that, came out, bounced around for a while, and ended up in front of your ears years later. That is a really short story. But anyway, more if you guys care, but it's not about me as much, even though this is technically all about me. All right, next. All right, next one here. Sorry about the name pronunciation, but let's do it. Uh, Lucrecia Retosa asks, is there a Reddit story you narrated that stuck with you in a creepy or sad way? Um, Yeah, any of the kid stuff really affects me big time. So, violence against children or accidents involving children totally messes me up. Did you ever visit a haunted location? How was it? Sure. Been to the Kings Park Psychiatric Center day and night, in the building, on the roof, around the grounds. Sweet Hollow Road, which is haunted supposedly around here. Mount Misery Road, which is also, how could that not be haunted with a name like that? And nothing happens. I even run around those woods all the time. Nothing, just deer. But you never know. And are you religious or spiritual? If I'm picking one, I guess I would say more spiritual. I was raised Roman Catholic and I went to Catholic school for 4 years. I believe anything is possible. That is my view. And anyone who believes in something, that's their belief, and I respect that. Period. All right. Thank you. Next question. All right. Duck asks these. What's the scariest story you've heard from your local area or from someone you know personally? I mean, I heard a story about a couple of kids getting pulled over, and the car was found with their decapitated heads, but the heads were never found. The bodies were there strapped into the seatbelts. So that's pretty freaky. And then also, what is the worst story you've read from Reddit? And you've a story that's made you feel sick or want to cry. So anytime first responders talk about things involving children or babies in car accidents, that's really tough for me. I cried a few times reading here, probably at least 10. Some involving There was one that there was an older man, I think it was a nurse writing the post, and his wife of like 50 something years passes away. And he looked at her and he's like, what do I do? I don't know how to go on. And that right there, like I could almost cry right now saying that. So that's a beautiful sentiment. And so things like that. That's it. That gets me. Okay, good question. Greg Buster asks, who has been the greatest influence in your life? Well, cliche as it is, I'll say my mother. She's had a hard road between raising me and my father in a way. I was an only child, so I am an only child. Um, yeah, she's a strong woman, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without her. So I could say that. But again, at the end of the day, I'm just like you guys, right? You see a two-dimensional face. He comes and he disappears, and you go on with your life. I put my pants on just like you. I have hopes and dreams just like you guys. You know, I've made plenty of mistakes. I found this blessing to be able to talk to you guys, and I don't take it for granted. But I'll tell you something, because I've wanted to do voice work and I've got a paying job doing it. If you want something, I mean, you really, really want something, go for it. Maybe it won't work out. Maybe it will. But why wouldn't you try? I mean, the only thing we have to waste in this world is our time. So waste it doing something you love. Was that too emotional? I'm sorry. Anyway, next question.